tonight. We do have a wonderful guest with me tonight. I've enjoyed watching a lot of their videos, but I do have the one that sticks out in my head. So we'll get to him with that in a little bit. Our announcements for tonight. Uh, we sticks out in my head, so we'll get. Sorry about that. We do have a guest for next week. Let me find my paper. Uh, Great State Paranormal will be on. They are based here in North Carolina with me. Uh, I've actually done Parafest with them a year or so ago now, back in April. Hey, Wendy, thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate you. And I've just got in touch with him. He said, yeah, he would do it for me. And so we will try to get ready for that for next weekend. So you don't really want to miss that one. They just right up the road from me, up in the mountain area. So, hey Scully, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in, buddy, and everything. So we didn't get to do investigation this week because it rained and everything like that. But we will try to do it next weekend that I'm off. So not this weekend coming up, but the next one. Me and my dad, we're going to actually go to a cemetery. I don't know which exactly one yet that he's got planned, but we're going to go find one to do it. Hey, May, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Global Ghost Hunt is coming up soon, October 16th. You will get to see some really interesting teams out there investigating. Matt Nems, they haven't got the schedule up yet, but they do got their thumbnails and all made. And but he was supposed to get with me one day, and he'll give me all the teams and the schedule so I can put them up and everybody to see. Good evening. How are you? Wandering Spirits, Hikes, and Haunts. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. September 21st, you'll see this channel on here. I can't wait. Very, very interesting to do an interview with this one. Y'all don't want to miss that one for sure. So let's go ahead and get into it and talk to the guest. I know he's backstage waiting patiently, and I do appreciate him so much for coming on. Everybody, please make welcome for Virginia Paranormal. Hey, bud.
Hey, Jonathan.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
All right.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself and when you had your first experience.
Sure. Yeah. I guess my first experience was kind of weird, but I'll definitely tell you about that. As far as like paranormal investigation, my dad had always watched like paranormal shows when I was a kid, like unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. So it kind of piqued my interest. As soon as I was old enough to drive, we were out driving down these. I grew up in Delaware near a place called the Brandywine Valley. And it's just this maze of back roads. And there's a lot of urban legends back there. So we drive around back there looking for the urban legends and stuff. But I think the first thing that I had that I couldn't explain was in my house, in my childhood home. And I was probably a teenager about. And I heard that we had this little alcove that went to the back door. The washer and dryer were in there.
Yeah.
And I hear the dog like scratching at the door to go out. So I go in there and it's dark. I couldn't see, but I felt the dog like press against me. Like I had to push him out of the way. And I opened the door. And as I opened the door, the light from the porch shines in and there was nothing there. Like there was no dog in the alcove there. So I walked outside and I called for the dog, and sure enough, he comes running from the other side of the yard. He was already outside.
Oh.
So I started thinking, like, is there a ghost dog in the house? I mean, I'd never seen it again or felt that again, but that wasn't the thing that made me say like, oh, I want to investigate the paranormal. But
Yeah.
I think it was probably, I'd consider it my first experience.
Okay. That's cool. Uh, how old was you when you had that first experience?
I'd say it's probably about a teenager, young, maybe 12, 13, something like that.
Okay. All right. That's pretty cool right there. So tell us a little bit about your team or your group.
Sure. Yeah. So I was in the Air Force, and about 2008, I met this other guy in there, and we had been talking about some of the stuff that we liked, and we both brought up, like I mentioned, going out to these urban legends and stuff like that. And he was like, "Yeah, I love doing that too." He said, "I was with the team up in Whiteman, Missouri, and we would go out and try to explore all these different paranormal hotspots out there and stuff." And
Yeah.
we decided like, "Hey, let's start our own team." So we did, and we had a couple of people that were in the Air Force with us, and it was just kind of casual. We'd go out to there's a lot of haunted places and battlefields and stuff around here in Virginia that
Okay.
we would go out to. And after a while, after a couple of years of doing this just as pure hobby, purely interested in these stories and what was out there, people started reaching out to us to come in and investigate their homes. And around this time, like Scott, who had started the team with me, he had moved out to West Virginia. Um, the other guys were just more into doing it like casually, like they didn't want to go and do residential cases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so I ended up having to get some new people and kind of rebuild the team a little bit to get some people that were more serious about it. And we started taking on these residential cases. And it's gotten to the point today where that's primarily, it's been a while since we've done like a commercial location because we primarily focus on these residential cases.
Yeah. That's a big deal right there. Uh,
Yeah, and it was cool because with the I never knew how I would be helping anyone else doing this. I just thought this is something I'm interested in.
yeah.
And getting these residential cases, we found out that we can do something we're interested in and also really help people, that because you got some people whose lives have been turned upside down by stuff that's going on in their house,
Yeah.
and they'll reach out to their church and to everyone they know, and people will laugh them away,
That's
or
right.
just say, "Hey, you're crazy," or they'll say, we don't deal with that, we're not coming out and messing with that. So they don't have really anywhere to turn to.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. We just got done doing a private location at a house, but we had to do it for like 3 times to get it figured out what we was working with, uh, and everything like that. So yeah, it's always a good feeling when you can try to help somebody figure out what's going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, if you can give, because some of them will call for different reasons. Like some just are curious, they hear these thumps and bumps, and
If
hey, is there a natural explanation? If you
yeah,
can give them that, you give them the natural explanation, or tell them it's not in their head, at least that helps out a lot of people.
yeah,
And then you got the people that are really tormented by the stuff that's going on, and
yeah,
to be able to listen to them and kind of counsel them through that is I feel like it's a big thing.
yeah. Uh, where all have you been investigated?
Well, as far as oh boy, as far as residential cases, we've been all over Virginia. We're in the eastern part of Virginia, and we've gone all up around northern Virginia, around Alexandria. We take cases all over the state, all the way out in the mountains, Coburn, up in north in Winchester. We do a couple in North Carolina every once in a while, Maryland. We've even taken one, and it's a rare occasion, but we took one that was way out in Georgia, and that was like took all weekend to get out there and back. Was the most of the weekend, but the guy had an intense report, so
Yeah.
felt compelled to go out.
How many people do y'all have in y'all's group?
We have 4 steady people right now, and we're going through a little bit of a transition because one of our members has to kind of step back for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we have another one that's going to come in and kind of step up. But we usually try to keep a core team of 4. Sometimes it'll fluctuate, depending on what month it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people will come and stay. Some people will come and go.
That's right. You're exactly right. I do. Like I said, I mentioned earlier about I do watch videos of y'all's, and the one that stuck out to me, well, 2 of them sticks out to me, is one with equipment that y'all went to the store and done a video in the side of the store about the equipment, and also when y'all went to get snacks and stuff when y'all went out to investigate.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you want to get like good snacks while you investigate, make you feel good or drained or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've kind of compiled like our investigations into more of a vlog.
Yeah.
We've tried different formats in the past, but now it's more of like a vlog, like where we take people along the trip with us.
Yeah.
So Linda will usually find a good place to eat, like a hole in the wall place or a unique place, not like a cookie cutter restaurant usually.
Yeah.
So we'll stop there, we'll check out what they have to do or what they have to eat and stuff. And then we'll usually take people to the gas station with us to show what snacks we're bringing for the investigation. And then as long as the people allow it, we'll do a recording of the investigation. If not, we just got a video of us eating and getting snacks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to think about, because you don't know how long the investigation is going to be. It can be short, you know what I mean? It can be a couple hours, or if there's activity happen and crazy stuff going on, it could last a good portion of the night. So you got to be prepared, because some of these places don't have a convenience store nearby that's 24 hours. So I think my go-to is combos.
Yeah. Getting snack stuff is really good for locations, because you don't want to sit there and be filming and all of a sudden your guts will be growling all night long. That has happened for us on investigations. And
oh yeah, absolutely. And then you got to watch what you eat too, because sometimes it's better to be hungry than to have the opposite.
Yeah,
you can't find a good bathroom around.
That's right. Let's see. Now, equipment wise, what type of equipment do y'all have?
We use very basic equipment, and a lot of the stuff that you get that's made for ghost hunting, I feel we keep a healthy level of skepticism about, know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my favorite thing for evidence is obviously just a voice recorder. Not have to have an expensive one, we have like a Sony that we'll use. It was like $40, and if you get a solid EVP, that's good. But we'll run the Spirit Box. We'll use a REM pod. I really like the REM pod. That's a pretty good one. I think that's pretty legit. When we set up, I guess it's easier for me to probably think about when we do the investigation, and when the equipment comes into play, then to list it. So we'll go in and we'll get our baseline, and with our baseline, we'll use EMF detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. We believe in use natural gas detectors. I'll take a stethoscope, and if they have some, I'll listen to the walls and see if there's anything like scratching around in there. One time I found that there was rodents in the walls, and that was causing this loud scraping sound that they didn't know where it was.
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll take a lot of pictures throughout the location, and then during the investigation, some of the tools that we'll use will be the Spirit Box. We'll use the REM pod. We'll do the EVP sessions. We have the one guy who uses a thermal camera, an IR camera if it's dark, and we've recently started using a Geiger counter as well, to kind of as another way to kind of measure the atmosphere. Oh, and of course, temperature. We'll keep track of the temperature.
Yeah.
So nothing too extravagant, nothing too fancy. I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like basically, if someone comes out and they join our team, like, we can pretty much at least teach them how to use the equipment, and pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we are. We've got a few basic things. We don't use our DVR system much because most places we go don't have no electricity, so I don't have nothing to make electricity with. And then uh, we just got basically things, just normal flashlight from Walmart, stuff like that. And then everybody's been buying these special bears and stuff like that. I can't give no $300, $500 for no Boo Bear. So I went to Walmart and I seen this and I paid $29 for it. We got a gizmo.
Nice.
And
Nice.
this thing works like a charm. After you get the spirits warmed up to it, it will work.
That's pretty good. That's a good idea.
So you can use about anything that will, that it's got some kind of noise. It will work.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to go around Sears and I'd spend like an hour or two in there just walking around, looking at things, everything from the tools to everything else, and thinking like, how can this be used in the paranormal investigation?
Yeah.
Trying to think a little bit outside the box.
Yeah.
So yeah, find some good stuff.
You don't really have to have no $200 or $300 piece of equipment just to do what you need to do. So
No.
like I said, I can't afford it. Not on my salary. I can't afford it. So
No, and I've told people, they say, what do I need to start paranormal investigations? And I say, usually, like, it depends on what you want to get.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going for yourself, because you're interested in it, really, you don't need anything. You go out there and you observe. Because a lot of times, if you're using too much equipment, it'll take away from what's going on around you. And you might miss something that happens right over here because you're so focused on the equipment. So it's like, if you're just going for yourself, you can just observe,
Yeah.
Then I'm like, if you're trying to get evidence, you want something to record it with. You don't need anything fancy. A digital voice recorder. If you want to get video evidence, you need a video camera. But that's really it. Just depends on what you want. You know what I mean? What you're going out there for? Are you trying to get evidence and present it, or are you just trying to go because you want to see what's out there?
Yeah. Yeah. Do y'all do any cemeteries or anything like that?
Yeah, we've done quite a few cemeteries, and some of them have been like family cemeteries that have been on people's property.
Yeah.
I remember one was like a Quaker cemetery that was near someone's house, and I can't remember exactly where these places were. We went up to one, and that was a neat one. It had a cool story behind it, and I gotta say, I haven't gotten a lot in the cemetery that I recall. There was one that I couldn't explain, where it was in Yorktown. It was Grace Episcopal Church graveyard, and we were kind of walked in the cemetery and shining our flashlights around, and something blacks out the headstone, and we're like, one of the guys is saying like, hey, that's got to be like a cat running around in here, a small animal. But the thing was, if you're shining your flashlight at the headstone and the headstone gets blacked out, that thing's got to be between your flashlight beam and the headstone. Yeah. So it should be illuminated because your beam's hitting it. You should be able to see it. So we can explain that,
Yeah.
But there was this one that was really cool, really cool story it had behind it. And it was up near what they call the Wedge, where Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland all meet. And there's this graveyard out there where they have what's called the ticking tomb. And this one's got quite an urban legend behind it, because the tomb that ticks, the legend was that Mason and Dixon, when they were surveying for the Mason-Dixon line, a boy swallowed Mason's pocket watch. And they couldn't. He died, and they never took it out of him, and they buried him. And now his tomb ticks from the pocket watch. But they say what it really is this water that drips down in there in the tomb. But what was cool about it is they said that Edgar Allan Poe, and I don't know if this is true or more urban legend, but they said that Edgar Allan Poe actually, this got his attention, and he decided he wanted to go up there and check out that ticking tomb. Yeah. And allegedly, when he was up there checking it out, just next to it, there's another tombstone that's shaped like a heart. and supposedly his tomb tick, and he sees this heart-shaped headstone. It gives him a little bit of inspiration for the telltale heart. So that, like I said, that was one of the cool urban legends that I heard. I don't know, like I said, I haven't heard how much of it is truth, but
Yeah. That's very interesting. I know we went to the police department here in town where I live at. We got this one big cemetery up in town, and I had my dad go in there and ask him, see if we can just go up there and let them know that we're there too, so they won't make a special trip out there to us. And that one cop in there told my dad, said, tell him about knocking on one of the stones out there, the tallest stone, and it will knock back at you. Well, we went out there, all them stones was tall, so we didn't know which one. So here, me and my dad was knocking on every stone in the whole graveyard. I know there's about 50 million out there, and I thought myself, if this was daytime and people see us riding by that road, they think we're a bunch of nuts out there knocking on them tombstones. I knocked on so many tombstones, my knuckles was bleeding.
boy.
So yeah, it's something wild. Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. But yeah, it's just crazy stories that I've come across with. What is y'all's favorite places to investigate?
Like I said, I think it's the residential places, because each one's different. Each one, you get a different report. Some people are sincere. Some people sound like they're so far out there, but then you get there and some things happen that kind of make you wonder, you know. And either way, like I said, with those ones, we get to help people.
Yeah.
So those are my favorite, the residential cases. But I do love the urban legends. Like I like the haunted roads and bridges and stuff like that you can go out to at night, because it's such an uncontrolled environment.
Yeah.
You know,
we do have a wild bridge here. If y'all were to come to North Carolina and look me up.
Yeah.
We got to make your skin curl.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me show you a picture that we've caught right quick when I got it on my mind. This is the picture that one of my people in the chat that caught the Spirit Brothers UK one night. He caught this.
Oh, wow.
You can see the eyes and the horns up on top of the head.
Yeah, you can. And the like the place where the nose is, and
yeah, and looks like a clown mouth.
Looks like it. You can see the cheekbones and everything. That's pretty cool.
And here's what looks like cleaned up.
Wow. That one looks like you could see an ear off to the side there even.
Yeah. And I was talking to the live chat before we got started to the bridge. Now all these at the bridge. And the same person caught this, and you can see the two eyes behind. I was standing in front of my truck. You can see the two eyes back here where he's got circled.
Oh yeah. Look like big hollow eyes, right?
Yeah. And here it is up closer.
Oh. Oh yeah, I wasn't even looking at that. Yeah.
You see me standing in front of my truck. I haven't even left the truck yet. We just got started.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, that's at the bridge. So you'll enjoy it at the bridge.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's see. We do have a question for you right here. Said, do you ever come up to Maryland or Delaware?
Yes. In fact, I'm originally from Delaware. Okay. And we've had a couple cases in Delaware. I used to go up there to visit my dad all the time until he passed away last year. So I haven't been up there quite as much since then. But Maryland, we actually have a case in Maryland. I think about it's about 2-3 weeks from now, we'll be out in Maryland. I believe it is Edgewater, Maryland.
Okay.
So, and this sounds like a pretty cool case because it's got she says she lives at the end of the street where out in the woods there's this old abandoned house that's kind of dilapidated. And she said that ever since the kids went out to that house, something they saw what they described as a ghost out there, some kind of a shadowy figure. And ever since then, things have been happening around the house, and she's been seeing it in the yard and seeing these black smoky things moving throughout the woods. And
Yeah.
I forget what the extent of the activity was, but yeah. So we'll be out there in Maryland in about 3 weeks.
Okay, cool. Let's see. If you go to a location and you decide you want to stop and you had your equipment in the back and not look and just reach your hand and grab, what do you hope you grabbed out of your bag to investigate with?
Probably a voice recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that would be, like I said, I like EVPs. I think that's some solid evidence there. It's
Okay.
not as easy. I mean, as long as it's controlled, you know what I mean? As long as you know that people aren't whispering and stuff like that. And, there's not you're tagging the outside noise. I think that's some solid evidence.
Yeah. Tim said he can show you places. Well, he's from Delaware too, so he said he knows places up in that area. Let's see. Well, he came in Maryland and Delaware. He rewrote it.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Let's see here. If you had anywhere in the world already paid for, somebody said, I'll pay for you to travel, where would you like to go, and why would that be your favorite place? Money's no objects. It's already paid for you. Flight, food, hotel room.
It might be kind of, how do I say it? It might be a common answer, but I'd probably say the Winchester Mansion would be a really awesome place, just because to see the legend, like I like the legend behind it, where there's all these ghosts that were apparently killed by Winchester rifles that are wandering around there, and to see all these staircases and doors that go to nowhere. I think that'd be a pretty fantastic place.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. That would be pretty cool. So, what would your advice to new people that's coming into the paranormal that won't start their own group? What would your advice be for that?
I would say there's going to be a lot of experts, a lot of people that seem to know it all, and I think a lot of stuff you got to find out for yourself. You got to develop your own methods. You got to see what works for you, and the big thing is who you're going with. Make sure that you trust them, because you don't want someone that's going to leave you, something hits the fan, they're going to take off and you're going to be on your own. You want someone that's going to have your back. But everything else can kind of come over time. I think a lot of it is trial and error. And I think I have more questions now than I did when I first started it. You know what I mean? Because I think the more you do, the more questions you have, really.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep looking for those answers. And that's where the journey becomes always exciting, because you're always looking for answers. It never stops.
Yeah. What I found out in this field here, there is no professional teams. You're still learning everything.
Mm-hmm.
However, you've been in this 30 years, 20 years, or your whole life, you're still learning something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So if someone comes and tells you they know it all, test it. Test it.
Yeah. What gets me though, some of these people say they ain't scared, but when you invite them to a location, then they like, no, I'm backing out. I ain't going.
Yeah.
You got to be scared,
Yeah.
Let's see. How long have I mean? I know you said it before, but I can't remember. How long have Virginia Paranormals been a group?
Since 2008.
2008.
Yeah, we started in 2008, and um, like I said, there's the oldest, the longest term member, I should say, is Linda. Now she's been with us about 10 years. She's my wife, so that's probably why she sticks around. But it's another thing, like, and I guess this is also for people that are working on a team, like, don't give up, because there's a lot of teams that will form, and they'll disband, people will leave, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
So I always thought, kind of treat the team like a brand, that you're building this name, that this name, this team can help you regardless of who's on it. They're going to get the right people, and they're going to do the right things when they come out to your house.
Yeah.
So stand behind your company, if you will. And when people leave or don't work out, try out some new ones. You go through a lot of people sometimes. You might not, but when you find the right ones and it works out, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly right. Is anybody in the chat that has questions for our guests? I done run out of questions. I'm just coming off the top of my head now. So, like I said earlier about the investigations, when y'all do y'all's investigations, do y'all like to go to the place after y'all do y'all's base reading to go and sit down, and or do y'all just still walk around the house and stuff like that?
Oh, we walk around the house. Yeah, we like to actively do it. Sometimes we'll, for a period of several minutes or so, we might leave some stuff going and walk out of the house.
Yeah.
See if something comes out and pokes around with it. But now for the most part, we'll go from room to room. We'll try splitting up.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll try like simultaneous spirit box sessions in 2 different rooms and see if anything comes through that's related.
Yeah.
Do different stuff like that. And people, like I said, we love it when people come up with ideas. So if anyone on the team comes up with something, we'll, try that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead and finish up.
Oh, I was going to say one guy suggested one time this remote EVP session where you actually have like a walkie-talkie in the room with the recorder, and you go outside the house with the other walkie-talkie and you ask the questions and see if it picks up anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool idea.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
What was the thing? I forgot now what I was going to say. We got a question right here for you. Says she got here late. So, what was the scariest place you have investigated?
Okay, so I will say, man, there was this place, and it doesn't seem to be quite as active anymore for whatever reason, but it's called Old House Woods. And now, keep in mind, aside from catching something on video or audio, I can probably count on one hand the time I've seen something firsthand, like a shadow figure that was definite, not just like the corner of my eye type thing, but where I actually looked at something and I couldn't explain how it was there.
Yeah.
And this place called Old House Woods is man, this was just a hot spot for those types of things. And this is this patch of woods with this old abandoned house up there where allegedly pirates buried treasure and they never made it back to get the treasure. So now their spirits wander through the woods, and they've seen everything from ghost ships up there to the spirits of these pirates. And we used to park, we'd drive down this dirt road and kind of pull down another dirt road across from this old abandoned house. And we'd get out and we'd go walk around and kind of explore the house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're parked down this road, and there's something down there that's, you can see it moving kind of in the moonlight. and I had known before because there's a little bush that kind of grows up in the middle of that path, and I've looked at that before and actually walked down up to it to verify that it was a bush.
Yeah.
So I knew that was there. But whatever this was, it's literally like pacing back and forth across the path, and it's an upright figure, you know. So
Yeah.
we're watching it for a minute, and it stops and comes towards us, and we could see this thing walking towards us. As it gets, we can see the arms swinging at the side. There was something on its head, some kind of a hat or helmet that it was wearing, but it was just this dark silhouette. So we shine the flashlight down there, and there's nothing there in the path. Turn the flashlight off, and there it is, right where it left off, walking towards us.
Yeah.
Shine the flashlight again, it's gone. Turn the flashlight off, there it is. So it got to the point where we're like, we don't know what this is, so let's hop in the car. This was a long time ago. But we hopped in the car, and there's nothing on that path. Nothing came up and banged on the car or anything like that. There was no people down there that we could see, no vehicles, no other vehicles around. So that was kind of a weird thing that had happened there. And
Cool.
I think Old House Woods used to be a pretty scary place back in the day.
Yeah. Wendy's got a question for you right here. My question is, have y'all investigated a battlefield? If so, which one was it more active?
We've done nothing like as thorough as I would like to, because the National Park Service won't let us out there at certain hours, and there are a lot of restrictions and stuff like that. But we've wandered out around a couple of the battlefields in Gettysburg, and there was a little loophole up there because it was kind of cool, because the closing time for the battlefield was a time. It wasn't at sunset. It was a time. So it got dark before whatever that time was. So we were able to go out there in the battlefield and kind of wander around in the dark for about an hour before they closed, which was kind of cool. This was Devil's, I think it was Devil's Den. It was one where they had a Texas sniper, and the Texas sniper, he picked off several Union soldiers from this little place. And it's haunted because when they went out there afterwards, this guy that was taking pictures allegedly found a random Confederate soldier, posted him up there on the rock, and put the gun near him and took the picture and marketed that picture as the Texas sniper. Yeah. So the guy's spirit was mad that he got labeled the Texas sniper and he wasn't, or maybe the Texas sniper was mad because someone else got credit for it. I don't know. Yeah. But that place is supposed to be haunted because of that.
Yeah.
But we wandered around the battlefields in Yorktown, the Revolutionary War battlefields, and it's been a while. Nothing really stands out from the battlefields that we got a picture one time with. It's got like a flash on it, like it's got like a bright light on the battlefield, and it's daylight out. It's just around sunset, and some said it looks like it might be a fuse from a cannonball.
Yeah. Hey Sam, how you doing, buddy?
So there's been some stuff like that.
We got another question right here for you. Do you have a favorite device? If so, what is it? This may have already been asked and answered, but I have been trying to get my dog to go to sleep, so I may have missed it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I mentioned earlier, I think my favorite thing, if I just had to take one thing with me, would just be a voice recorder. I do like the REM pod as far as like paranormal equipment goes, just because kind of playing around with it, I found out some things that do set it off. And we've taken it to a lot of locations where none of those things were present and nothing happened. Yeah. And also where none of those things were present and we did get some responses from it. Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty cool piece of equipment there.
That's cool. Do you see, like, I got Gizmo where I mentioned earlier that it takes a while for the spirits to warm up to it, because some of the spirits don't didn't have Gizmo back in the day. You know, they came out what in the 90s. I mean 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The TV shows and stuff like that. And these people died years and years before that and never even seen Gizmo. And I guess that's probably true. They never even. I guess I was scared of it till one night somebody decided to touch it on the bridge, and that's when we first got it off. So I think the spirits does have to warm up to each equipment, though, don't it?
Yeah, and I like trigger objects or also things that are like outside the box like that. Like I've often put a slinky at the top of the stairs. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't got anything to push it down yet, but I keep taking it out. You know,
Yeah.
I've taken an etch a sketch and laid it on there wherever the activity was, and I
Mm-hmm.
haven't gotten anything to draw on that either. But
Mm-hmm.
I figure if something does, like it's legit because the only way to get that to do is to turn the knobs. So I like taking stuff like that and kind of putting it out there.
Yeah. Everything is good news, because it helps verify the claims and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. So my daughter would have toys going to the Goodwill, and I'd go through them and be like, oh, let me see, make sure I can't use any of this for
Yeah.
ghost hunting.
Yeah. Here's another question: what would be your dream investigation? Uh, you said the Winchester House,
I'd
didn't
like to do the Winchester House. That would be cool. Yeah, but just I think just for mainly for the history of it. I
you?
think it'd be an awesome place to see, regardless of the activity.
Yeah. Let's
But
see.
that's one I'd really have to think about, though. If I was actually gonna pick, I'd have to sit down and think about that a lot.
Yeah. Uh, Tina says she had subscribed to your channel.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here's a good one. Any choice in the spirit apps that you like?
Um, so I don't usually put a whole lot of stock in the apps.
Yeah.
Um, I have had like now I wouldn't just speak blindly on it. Like we have experimented with them and tried various ones out and such.
Yeah.
And a lot of them seem to have somewhat vague replies and answers. There was this one a while back, like when they first started putting out the apps. I think it was called Paratech, and I don't know how this happened. I wouldn't say it's 100% paranormal because I don't know how these things work enough. You never know what they can do with when your phone's listening to you or what,
Yeah.
and how this ties into that stuff. But it came up with this lady's name, and it wasn't like a common name. It was like her last name that was there in the investigation. Came up with her badge number. So there were some things like that, and I'm thinking like, how is this coming up with this? Um, so I like to keep an open mind about it, but
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go to like a residential case and present anything that came through it as like hard evidence.
Yeah. We got another one here for you from Wendy. Is there a paranormal team that you like the best for the way they investigate?
Um, I can't really say.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't. I don't really watch a whole lot of stuff.
yeah.
Um, I never really have. Uh, I I watched Ghost Hunters, when it first came out, and like
Yeah.
Taps, and I liked them because I feel like they were legit at the time when they first started, and then things I think got a little too Hollywood there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I liked the way they would go in and kind of try to not go in with the purpose of like, hey, let's prove this person's crazy, but they would try to rule out any natural explanations.
Yeah.
And that's of course what we try to do, rule out anything natural so that whatever evidence you do have is like solid evidence.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. So that is like what I do. I go and watch several people, and I try to figure out their techniques and stuff, and see how they investigate and stuff. Because I watched y'all, I watched uh, Myers Paranormal from Alabama, and uh, Vicky and them from Missouri, Abyss Paranormal, and I watched several different groups and watch how they do. And sometimes I do way they do conduct their investigations, and that's the way I do it. And sometimes I get some good answers and good progress, and sometimes somebody else I try one of their style and do the same thing. Just keep it going.
Yeah.
So it's really good
Yeah,
thing.
and people will send me some interesting like clips and stuff like that, and videos I'll follow upon, but I don't remember
Yeah,
because I don't it's nothing that I watch like regularly, I guess.
yeah.
And I have trouble probably thinking of TV shows that I watch on a regular basis.
Man. We got another question right here for you. When are you going to investigate with Jonathan?
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, we get in some good places.
Yeah,
Like I said, the bridge.
that
We
bridge sounds pretty legit. Yeah.
we heard something that night I couldn't explain. So I don't know. We heard a scream, and it sounds exactly like a woman scream. It sounded exactly like a woman getting ready to be done within.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the story is there'd been 18 dead bodies found there.
Wow.
They've been gangster style shot, 2 shots in the head and tied up in a buried in
Yeah.
a shallow grave. So hey, some crazy junk happened there.
Wow. Yeah, and
Let's
the crime alone, like the violence and stuff like that alone can open up some doorways
yeah.
there.
I what I'm thinking though that happened that they might have uh, saw something other and they didn't want to tell the cops and stuff. So that's the reason why. Because back then moonshine was pretty hot and heavy in this area.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have been one thing that they've seen and they're like, you ain't telling us.
Yeah.
They done that. And the oldest one that they found was dated back 1930s,
Wow.
and it's been going on from the 30s on up till they finally found all of them.
Yeah, you can't mess around with those moonshine stills. You find one of those out in the woods, you gotta go the other way.
I don't think they got all the bodies up, so I still think there's more there. You can just get that feeling. You can ride down that road and get to the bridge around about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and feel like there's something that's pushing on your chest in the truck, like trying to keep you from going on to the bridge.
Yeah.
Both
Wow.
ways. Yeah, it's crazy. Uh, we got another one here. Is there a place where you felt negative feeling that you won't go back?
I wouldn't say that I would go back. Um, and I say this because I'm not really as much sensitive. Um, like I just kind of go off what I kind of I look at it more, take it more of like an analytical approach, I guess.
Yeah,
But there have been some places where there had been something a lot darker than the regular bumps and thumps in the night. And we've had calls from people that were getting scratches on them and pulled out of bed, and things flying across their houses and stuff like that. And you just go there and you know that there's a heavy feeling in this house.
yeah,
There's something here that doesn't belong here, and that really has no place here. Um, and you can see why these people are just uh, not being, their lives, like I said, are turned upside down, because of the stuff that's going on. So that kind of negativity, I would say, um, spent some eerie places and stuff like that. But no, with those negative cases, I really like to try to help those people as much as I can,
yeah.
help them try to get through it and come up with some solutions to get rid of it.
Yeah. Bonnie here's got. She comes and sees me, but when I investigate, she don't come and turn into the investigations because she don't like the stuff. But like the screen, uh, was something else, and I did get touched on the bridge. We went out there on my birthday and actually got pinched. And I got home and I checked, and I had three big old whips, about the size of a quarter.
Wow.
And that, not like to say scared me or startled me or nothing, but it's just weird, you know. Uh, so my dad has a little girl spirit that holds his hand while he's there, and she'll lead him around the bridge and stuff like that. So
Wow.
that's pretty wild. Um,
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
uh, Panda said, "I want to do one so bad and laugh out loud. I'm too chicken." uh, but yeah, so do you ever get any EVPs with different languages? That's a good question. And if so, do you translate them?
Yes, we've gotten some that have sounded like they were talking in Spanish, and Linda, she's pretty fluent in that, so she can kind of translate it and tell what they're saying. So we've had that before, and her asking questions in Spanish, which have triggered some stuff.
Okay.
We've also had some. We've had some that we couldn't determine. It sounded like a language, but we couldn't tell what it was saying. And then we've had some that we believe were like Shawnee, um, like the Shawnee Indians. Um, Once again, I don't recall what this was a while ago, but we have gotten some in other languages. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
And we've
interesting.
even tried to look up a dialogue of like some of the Native American words that we could try to say, just to try to get the conversation started.
Yeah. Uh, Wendy says she's from the Hampton Road area, and I wondered if there's a favorite spot in that area you like to investigate.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to, I'm a little bit biased there. Um, Yorktown, Virginia. Yorktown is my favorite place in the Hampton Roads area. So much history. I actually wrote a book about it about 10 years ago. And we give the ghost tours down there, Yorktown Ghost Walks.
Yeah.
So I love Yorktown. Like I said, it's such a fascinating history. It's where independence was won during the Revolutionary War. There was some Civil War action there, spirits from all different eras. So that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. That just you just mentioned that dropped me a question. When you investigate the spirits, do you get a feeling what time zone that they're from? Such as like if it's got a lot of history, like Civil War history, Revolutionary War history, and you know things like that. When you go investigate, when you talk to them, is there like Pacific era that come to, or it just depends on whoever's there at the time?
Sometimes there is, yeah. And one that I can think about was a fairly recent investigation. We seem to be getting responses when we started talking about the war between the states,
Yeah,
and we started talking about being a Yankee, being a rebel. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Was your uniform blue or was it gray? And we started getting responses to that line of questioning.
yeah,
So we'll try. Sometimes we'll try to shoot around in the dark, for lack of better words.
yeah,
But we might ask, like, did you know General Washington, or were you in Lee's army, or different
yeah,
things to try to determine the era. Do you know who the president is? What year is it? What I mean? We'll try to ask those kinds of questions to see if any responses come through that kind of give us an idea of the era. Because I've also had like a crazy theory that, and like I said, it's just a theory. It's a crazy one, that perhaps sometimes we're not actually talking to ghosts, but some kind of a time loop, or a
yeah,
time window, that maybe it's actually someone from a different era in the past that's communicating with us, and they think we're the ghosts.
Yeah.
You know.
We got another question here, but it's for me too, so you can help me with this if you want. So in in their brain, and if a ghost touches you, you can touch it back, right or no? Been having this debate with my brother for years. Uh, to me, I don't think you can touch them back, but what you
Uh, that's a good question. I mean, I've had people that have said that there was something pinning them down and stuff like that, and they weren't able to physically push it off. They'd have to start praying, and then
yeah,
it would release them, or start saying the Lord's Prayer, something to that effect, and it would release them. But it was always like it always seemed to respond to verbal, not so much physical
yeah,
response. It's a good question, though.
yeah,
I've kind of wondered along those lines. We had a discussion a while back, like there was this one soldier that was seen carrying a gun, like he was standing guard. And I said, you know what? If that ghost put down that gun and walked away from it, would you have a ghost rifle sitting up there along the tree,
yeah,
or would it be gone?
yeah,
It's weird stuff like that. A lot of questions.
yeah. Have y'all ever done the cabin on 360?
We have not done the cabin on 360. We talked to Dennis about it a while back, like when I guess it wasn't too long after they first had purchased it.
Yeah,
But it's come back around to our table again here over the summer, and we're thinking about actually lining that up here in the near future.
yeah. We're thinking about it too, but it's just going to be a little bit down the road.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Appreciate you. Said best way to learn Native American word is at powwows. Yep. Went bypassed it. Let's see. Wendy says Yorktown is hers too, especially the Yorktown beach area.
Yeah. I love Yorktown, and I've had a few firsthand experiences down there. That's where that graveyard was that I was talking about earlier, with the shadow moving in front of the headstone.
Thank you so much for coming in. And appreciate you being here. I hope you have fun here, and hope you enjoy yourself and come back again. All right, see, is one of the nicest guys on YouTube. He likes weird stuff, but he's a nice guy. Laugh out loud. Bonnie's so cool. Here's another good one. Have you ever had anything to follow you home?
One time there was something, and it was this house in Gloucester, Virginia, and this was a crazy. How much time do you have left? Because it's kind of a crazy story. I don't know if you got.
Oh, I got about 30 more minutes.
All right. So this house, this younger couple moved into with the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law had a little dog. Okay, now across the street from this house, there was a murder back in the 90s, and I haven't really talked about this one in a while, so I might get some of the details a little bit off as far as the actual murder and stuff that happened. But if I remember right, the daughter and her boyfriend and another guy had come home, and the dad didn't like her in this relationship, so they called him out, and the boyfriend shot the dad. Lungs filled up with water, and that's how he or lungs filled up with fluid. That's how he ultimately died.
Yeah.
They went in, they killed the sister, and then the mother come home, and the mother's trying to talk her out of it, trying to talk the daughter out of it. Like, you don't need to do this. I'll give you money to get away, to go where you're trying to go, everything.
Yeah.
And the one kid comes up and hits the mother with the dumbbell in the back of the head. and they thought they killed her, and they get on the road and they're heading out to California. So the mother literally crawls across the street to the neighbor, and the neighbor's house, the one that the mother crawled to, was the house that we were investigating now, some 20, 30 years after this happened. The mother ended up surviving, but they had this activity in their house. And like I said, this wasn't the house where the murder happened. It was the house across the street where the mother had crawled to, right?
Yeah.
They had this activity in their house, to the point where they got a priest out. The priest goes down in the basement. He takes a step or two, sprinkles the holy water from the bottom of the basement stairs, and tells them, you need to get out of this house. This place is just empty. It's no good. You need to get out of here. So the mother, would be the mother / mother-in-law, the older lady. She's going to talk. The lady across the street comes over and says, hey, you want to come out and we'll have some coffee and talk on the front porch? So she's going to get dressed, going to go change out of her robe and her slippers and stuff. And all of a sudden, she just felt like she was having trouble breathing, fell to the floor, tried to call her daughter at work because she couldn't get through to 911 or something like that. So she's trying all these numbers. The daughter gets the call, calls 911, and they come and they take her to the hospital. Now, this lady, the crazy thing was her lungs were filling up with fluid, and they had no reason why. But what was crazy is this is how the dad across the street had died, right? On top of that, she had previously seen this man in her house, and the man was reaching for her cell phone as the ghost of this guy. And she also described seeing the ghost of this younger guy. So when she saw a picture of the family that was murdered in the news article, she realized that the ghost she'd been seeing in the house was the father that was killed across the street. And the younger guy that she was seeing, the ghost of the younger guy, was still alive and in jail. Yet she's seeing his apparition in the house. So whatever this was that attacked her, they had been having emotional problems that they got there, fighting, all this crazy stuff. So they were literally, they said, no matter what happens during this investigation, we are packing our stuff and we're moving out of this house because we're not staying here another day. Well, we did that investigation. There were some weird things that happened, as I recall, some weird voices that had come through and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we had come back here to the house, and like the next night or so, I had gone up to visit my dad in Delaware, and Linda was here, and she saw this thing in the house, this shadowy figure that, it never had anything follow her home before or anything like that.
Yeah.
But this thing, she said it was just a heavy, evil presence, and she ended up using some holy water. She put the audio Bible on and played that all through the night, and this thing ended up leaving and apparently didn't come back again.
Yeah.
But that was the one time that something followed us back, and it was quite a case.
Yeah. That leads me to another question. So what kind of protection do y'all do for before the investigation and afterwards?
We just do prayer. Okay. Just do prayer. I myself, I'm Christian. I actually went to school, Regent here in Virginia Beach for, well, it's not here in Virginia Beach, but it's not too far, for divinity. So I went through seminary, to basically learn all I can about being able to help people spiritually.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, I really appreciate that and also too, here at C.O.P.S, we do appreciate all our veterans, and we just want to say thank you for serving too. I know
thank you.
A lot of people don't acknowledge that, but we do. We do highly appreciate you so much because my dad, he served in the military too, so pretty much about all my family. So we just want to say thank you for your service.
You really appreciate that.
I do put up a video for the veterans on Veterans Day. If you'd like to be a part of that, all I need is a picture, name, and the outfit that you was in.
Yeah,
So if
absolutely.
you're
That'd be cool.
interested in doing something that way,
Be happy to.
let's see. Anybody else have any questions for him before we can get off of here? Uh, Wendy, thank you so much for sharing out their link for the uh, Virginia Paranormal here, and I appreciate you so much for that. Uh, Also, too, I'm going to mention about the Global Ghost Hunt to y'all. Global Ghost Hunt is where it's based out of Canada. You can do either live videos or record a video. I don't know exactly all the rules that they have going for that. The last sign up for this year was August 31st. So you can talk to them and get in for next year if you want to. Go ahead and get your place marked if y'all are interested in doing something like that. It will help boost you out there a little more because he will push it and keep pushing it all out. So you'll get to see a bunch of cool teams this year. Uh, the opening, the ceremonies is the 16th, and it runs all the way through the 26th. So I think it's like 10 days. And it's nothing but paranormal. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, and it's on Parapost Network Central on Facebook. So there's several different ways that people get out there and see y'all. So I will send you that information, the website and stuff that you can check out for yourself if you're interested. Let's see. Everybody says thank you for your service and everything.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
How can people book one of their tours?
That's YorktownGhostWalks.com. So if you remember Yorktown Ghost Walks, that's on Facebook and Instagram and the .com. So I think from all of those you can find it.
Okay.
If you want to read about it, like I said, the book is The Ghost of Yorktown. Ghost of Yorktown, Virginia, Haunted Tour Guide. It's if you just type in The Ghost of Yorktown, it should be the only one that comes up on Amazon. At least last I checked,
Okay.
was the only one. So the book's a little more expansive than the tour, but we have a good time. We have a good time down there giving the tours. Like I said, it's got some great history and some interesting stories.
Yeah. I do want to say thanks to everybody on the Facebook side that come joined us tonight, and appreciate each and every one of y'all for that. So, anybody else have any questions before we get off here tonight? I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And plus, I appreciate you coming on for tonight, being a guest. It's so awesome.
My pleasure. Yeah, thanks again for the invite.
Yeah. So y'all are always welcome here anytime y'all want to come in and hang out with us. We'll just set up and shoot a video with you here. Sometimes I don't have all my dates full. We do shows every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Sometimes I have guests and sometimes I don't have a guest. So if I don't have a guest, if y'all want to come up and talk, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, just shoot me a text. I'll be happy to do whatever.
I do like to listen to some more stories. I mean, I do like to listen to some good paranormal stories. Here's one. Jeff, has your team ever led an investigation at Paxton Manor in Leesburg, Virginia?
We have not. No, we have not. We don't do really as far as public investigations. We usually do one every year down here at the local museum, the Pagosa Museum, as a fundraiser for them.
Panda.
And then we've done like few other places. I think we did the Lee Hall Train Depot one year. That was a fundraiser. And then last year we did in Roanoke, the Transportation Museum.
Yeah.
But they're the only ones we do. We don't usually set up our own. We just, like I said, we just do them if we can help a place, usually a historic place, if we can help them,
Yeah.
get some money.
I've been there to that train place. Me and my dad went there one year when me and him went to visit some family members in Roanoke.
Yeah, that was a neat place.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I liked it. My friend Crystal here, she's got a question. Any upcoming events in the future?
We do have one of the libraries in Newport News where we're giving a talk at. There may be some more because we usually have a couple of libraries in the Hampton Roads area that'll call us up and ask us to come out and give a little talk.
Yeah.
So I will find out what that is because someone else keeps track of that for me, and I'll find out what that is and make sure we get it posted on the Facebook or I usually try to keep up with the Facebook and the Instagram with pretty good notice, so I'll do that.
Okay. I appreciate all the information. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. And if you want to stay on for like 5 minutes after the show ends, and we need to talk for a few minutes, and then we'll get on out of here.
Sounds good.
All right. So, everybody, thank y'all so much for being here. Thank each and every one of you for the wonderful questions and all the new people that came into the chat. Thank you so much. I hope y'all liked it and subscribed and all that good YouTube stuff. Auntie Mama, thank you so much for coming in. It's a blessing to have you. She is so cool. She's also here in North Carolina, so me and her are going to go out to investigate the cemetery one night. Let's see. Wendy says, thank you everyone for your support. Don't forget to turn on your notifications for more Cops Live. Appreciate that, Wendy. Thank you so much for your help tonight. All right. Thank y'all so much. Appreciate each and every one of you, and I will